I can change, but I'm here in my mold. Yeah, I'm here in my mold. And I'm a million different people. From one day to the next, I can change my mold. No, 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 yeah. But tonight I'm on my knees, yeah. I need to hear some sounds that recognize the pain in me. And let the melody shine, let it cleanse my mind. I feel free now. The airwaves are thick, and there's nobody singing to me now. Change, I can change, I can change, I can change, but I'm here in my mold. I am here in my mold, but I'm a million different people. From one day to the next, I can change my mold. No, no, yeah. Cause it's a bittersweet symphony, that's life. Trying to make ends meet, we're a slave to the money, we die. Down the only road I've ever been down. You're the one that takes you to places where all the things meet, yeah. Symphony, that's life.
But I want to read, I have two of their previous cards, so I'm going to read these, and we're going to start with the new cards next week. But I have two right here that I want to share with you what folks say about Spiritual Soul Center. So this is from my friend Kim. She's not here today. She got the award this week. Woo! Did you see it?
Yes.
Kim Henry got the award, outstanding contribution to lifetime achievement for theatrical something, I don't know the word. But she's on cloud nine, as is Theater for All. They're amazing. They'll be back here at Soul Center sometime. I don't know exactly when. Ann is working on that date. But here's what Kim says. Why Spiritual Soul Center? Oh. She just said, she wrote my name. Aww. And a heart. What have you discovered here, or what are you hoping to find? Beyond being in nature, Soul Center is the closest to spirit I feel in a building. Aww. That's pretty amazing. How does it feel here, or how are you hoping it will feel? It feels loving and safe and full of wisdom and a little different every time. See, I told you that. How will you enrich this space in our community? By taking all this wisdom and love out into the world the best I can.
Oh.
Yep, right there, right there. We might frame that one. And one more from Gray, from Casey's friend Gray. Oh, why Spiritual Soul Center? Casey Jones! So Paula and Casey, that's why you should come. Casey Jones. shows. What have you discovered here? What are you hoping to find? The seventh direction that points within. Ooh, no pressure, Megan. Oh, we got that covered? Seventh direction that points within. Yeah, we'll cover that. How does it feel here? How are you hoping it would feel? Warm fuzzies, here, there, and everywhere. Thank you, Gray. And how will you enrich this space in our community? With a unique point of view and abundant creativity. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And Gray's been coming here maybe a month? Yeah, 1 month. So thanks for bringing your friend Gray with you. So I've been traveling this past week, but and I'm always looking for things. I was talking to Mary and Marla about this right before we started, and how I'm always looking for the lesson. I saw a funny sign. I don't know how to put this in a lesson, but I have to share it. I was stopped at a stoplight in Northern Virginia, and I looked over at this service station, and you know how they have the big roll-up doors, and over every door there's a sign, and it says brakes and alignment, and then on the next one it says, "We specialize in everything." I thought, oh, that is so cool. Like, oh, wonder what, like pull in the door number 3. We specialize in everything. Those are the kind of things I notice, right? But here's another thing I noticed. This is a little while ago. Well, it's the week before. So this was probably on the 14th of March. This is my journal, so I date things in here. And I was coming back past the pond on Independence there between 17th Street and Shipyard. You know that big pond on the right-hand side there? And I'm coming down. I'm always looking in that pond. And this haiku came to me. This short poem came to me. And this is what it says. One duck floating on a choppy pond. What is she thinking about? Nothing. Not like us. We're always wondering what everybody's thinking about, you know, but she was just floating on the choppy pond thinking about nothing. So let's just take that for a minute and close your eyes, take a deep breath. And what wisdom there is if we stop enough in our busyness to see what it might hold. Just one duck floating on that choppy pond. You know, I saw another one this morning on the way here, same thing, and I smiled. Thinking about nothing, being present to exactly what is. How grateful we can be when we remember that. That no matter it is, whether it's a smooth silver lake or a choppy pond, or the waves, or the roar of a stream, or the trickle, that the message is to be there with it, to be there and experience it. How grateful we can be, how intimately connected to the divine that we can feel in those precious moments. And so it is. Amen.
Smoke a match and watch the candle burn. What comes out and love takes its turn. Fallen angels and broken sounds. We will last past the final round. Took a while for you to find me, but I was hiding in the lime tree. Above the city on the rain cloud, I poked a hole and watched it drain out. Parallel to the city streets, of broken crowns beneath our feet. But as we walk across the diamonds, we know that love is always shining, shining. So save me love, save me all the time. I wash you down with a simple sip of wine, and toast my glass to all my loved ones, to let them know that the stars well, they still shine. Took a while for you to find me, but I was hiding in the lime tree above the city in the rain cloud. I poked a hole and watched it drain out. It took a while for you to find me, but I was hiding in the lime tree above the sea in the rain cloud. I poked a hole and watched it drain out. Took a while for you to find me. I was hiding in the lime tree above the city in the rain cloud. I poked a hole and watched it drain out. Oh, I watched it drain out. Took a while for you to find me. I was hiding in the lime tree above the sea in the rain cloud. I poked a hole and watched it drain out. Oh, I watched it drain out.
Good morning. It is a good morning. It's wonderful to see all your faces. And I tell you, there's something that happens when you step up here that is just, you're in a different dimension in some ways. And it feels like almost like a confessional, right? So I feel like when I'm standing up here, like I've gotten caught with my hand in the cookie jar. And like all of a sudden I've got to come up with like why my hand is in the cookie jar. But I feel like through our work here, I've come to the awareness it's because I want a cookie, right? Like I want the cookie. That's why my hand's in the cookie jar. It's the truth, right? It's standing in that eternal truth. But it does feel a little like confession time, and so here's my confession for the day. I am a fool for love. I love. And if you were here in November, I spoke on the spiritual practice of unrequited love, that which I am still practicing, as I am regularly reminiscing and ruminating on my guru and my teacher. And this feels like a worthy use of energy and effort to me, because it allows me to turn further inward. It is a call from the divine to delve deeper into my consciousness, in the ultimate goal of achieving oneness with love, source, God, whatever your name for that is. And being able to love and be love without conditions and expectations. And since the heart space is where I prefer to spend my time, the topic today will be no different. You see, I like to practice bhakti yoga, which is the yoga of devotion. And the word bhakti comes from the root bhaj, which means to adore and worship God. It is love for love's sake. And this love is the true, unconditional love between the individual soul and the supreme soul. Bhakti yoga is a practice of devotional service that creates the process for awakening, that connection. In the Yogic Path series that I've been watching, Krishna Das describes this Bhakti Yoga as the yoga of loving devotion. It is the path of coming to oneness, dissolving separateness with love. It can also be described as the path of the guru or the path of the heart. Right? And the heart is the center, it's the core of our emotions. And the practice of Bhakti Yoga is turning that emotion and using it in a positive way. And this could be by practicing seva, which is selfless service, mantras, chanting of the names of God, reflecting on your guru, writing love letters, prayer, meditation, many more. And according to Bhakti Yoga, The Art of Eternal Love by Swami Prabhupada, the editors write that bhakti involves three things, a trinity of sorts. That should sound familiar, right? The lover, the beloved, and the relationship, the loving relationship, the devotion. So I got curious about devotion. Merriam-Webster defines devotion as love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or cause. Which sounds fun, right? Like, yay God, yay love. But that felt a little superficial to me, so I decided to dig deeper on devotion. And I thought, who better to learn from about this Trinity, the devotion and the path of the Guru, than Ram Dass. Ram Dass's path was Guru Kripa, right? The grace of the Guru. His path was his relationship to the Maharaji Neem Karoli Baba, whom he loved and adored, and to whom he was devoted. And Ram Dass, in multiple talks and books, describes this trinity, the lover, the beloved, and the loving relationship, as the self, the guru, and God. He also described it another time as the ego, the soul, and awareness. All distinct, but a part of one another, the same. And you could think of this as body, mind, spirit, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And he went on to deepening the understanding of this concept by likening it to stories around Hanuman and Ram and Sita and their relationship, to Jesus and his mother Mary and their relationship. All examples of connections leading from and leading to an awakened, loving heart. Relationships where there is a common thread, and that is that they are rooted in devotion. And he talks about how this relationship often begins in a romanticized way. So he tells the story of how he first met his guru, and he's there and he's like seeing all these people just fighting each other almost to be able to touch his feet, right? And he thought, oh my gosh, that is like, why would you want to touch anybody's feet? I don't get it. Until he locked eyes with his guru. And in that moment, he says he was transformed. And then it's like, yes, I want to touch your feet. I want to be near you. I can't get enough, right? It becomes this obsession of sorts where you need to be in the presence of your guru more and more, that this being becomes the focus of your thoughts, the purpose of your actions. And he says this is where we have fallen in love with the vehicle for going to God. Because he talks about how this relationship matures when you realize it really isn't the person. It isn't the guru himself. It is, but it isn't, right? It is what is flowing through that person, the connection to what is flowing through that person. And he writes this interpersonal quality of devotional meditation allows you to start from your psychological needs to love, to be loved, to be in the presence of wisdom, compassion, and peace. When you are with a being who embodies these qualities, they rub off. You want to touch their feet. Right? And you feel more evolved, even to the point of recognizing the radiant light within yourself. This acknowledgement of your own beauty allows you to open even more to the beloved, until finally the love and the beloved merge, and you find out that what you had seen outwardly as perfection is a mirror of your own true being. And that as we continue to meditate and focus on this guru and whatever that is for you, and as our love for God and whatever that is for you grows, that we begin to tune into a deeper place within ourselves to where we can begin to see others as ourselves. As we begin to see all others as the beloved. Because it's the Trinity and it's not separate. And he goes on to say, devotion balances the more impersonal wisdom that comes from most kinds of meditation. It allows us to cultivate our humanity while we transform our consciousness. Right? Isn't that what we're here for? Pretty sure we say that at the end of every service. This outflowing of the heart toward the object of our devotion facilitates most other methods as well, through the flow of loving energy. The grace of the guru, right? By being loved unconditionally, even for a moment. For Ram Dass, it was a moment of locking eyes with his guru. So even for that moment, we can be transformed, shift our perspectives and beliefs, and then take that great love and gift it to others. And that can be done through our service to each other. And I have been blessed in my life to experience, see, this is where I get turned up, something that I believe is similar to what Ram Dass is describing. So I call the Reverend Richard Levy my guru because he is the one that showed me the light from the dark for the very first time. And the last time I saw him in his physical body, we knew it would be the last time that we saw each other. We stared into each other's eyes, and I was overwhelmed by the gratitude for him and his teachings in my heart, and the supreme love that flowed through him into me and back. It was almost a circuit of sorts. And it was like in that moment, there was nothing else. The room was full, but there were no other people. We were in our bodies, but there were no physical bodies. Sorry, now my nose is running. That's gross. The world fell away in that moment. There was nothing but the ultimate loving energy that we were tapping into and kindling for each other. Like, can you feel that? Have you felt that? And I'm so lucky that I get to continue to experience that each time I have a memory or focus on my guru and on my teacher. But I also have the honor of seeing it in other living beings regularly. But I have to say most consistently with my favorite four-legged companion. Right? I have this dog, my Chance, that I rescued. And this dog is all heart. And he loves me and is devoted to me beyond all others. As I kind of am to him, and don't tell my kids. In his eyes, I do no wrong. And he is with me every step. I mean, everyone should have a living being in their life that looks at them the way this dog looks at me. And me back at him. And in fact, he was laying on my feet as another definition or understanding of devotion, showed up for me recently in something that I watched. A couple of weeks ago was Shivaratri, which is a Hindu festival honoring the deity Shiva. And there are different thoughts as to the meaning behind this celebration, and it just happens to be the live stream that I was watching was from the Isha Foundation with Sadhguru, and it was magnificent. If you can go back and find that, it was a wonderful production. But he writes this, that some believe that Shivaratri is the honoring of the day Shiva became one with Mount Kailash, right? He became like a mountain, absolutely still. So in the yogic tradition, Shiva is not worshipped as a god, but is considered as the Adi Guru, the first guru from whom the science of yoga originated. And that after many years of meditation, one day he became absolutely still. And Shiva also represents that which is not, the vast emptiness, the source. So this festival is a celebration and an opportunity for individuals to experience oneness with Source. And so I was able to catch some of the live stream, and during it, there was a time when Sadhguru took questions from the audience. And I don't remember exactly how, or the exact words of the question, but essentially one of the participants was asking how do you know if you're a good devotee of God? In a sense, it was like a what's in it for me type of question. Like, what am I going to get from this if I do this practice? And Sadhguru's answer was this: you'll get nothing. You'll lose yourself. And he went on to say, once you are truly devoted, focusing everything in one direction, thought, word, and deed, on that love, that you become a fireball, illuminating the world. Just think about that, right? Like the opportunity to focus on being unconditional love, a love that is so great that we can light our way and the way for others. My mind was blown. And this is where my mind is also blown by the synchronicities this morning, because somehow that made me think of ducks. Ducks, Paula. A few weeks or maybe a month or so ago, in my moment at the beginning of the service, I talked about how in awe I was over these ducks, right? And how ducks were created in just the perfect way to be a duck. Their feathers repel water, but allow flight. And this particular moment, these ducks were so focused on eating. Nothing was disturbing them. Not the people, not the dogs, nothing. Focused on eating. In perfect balance, right? Because if you've ever seen a duck eat from underwater, they have this perfect little balance where their little tail feathers are in the air. And then they come back. Together, whatever they're eating from under the water. And in case you didn't know, ducks are omnivores. I learned that. But nothing distracted them from nurturing themselves and, in essence, their flock. And in that moment, I was fully enamored with those ducks. I'm kind of fully enamored right now, thinking about these ducks. And I had the thought, bless you, I had the thought, wouldn't it be great if I had, and if other humans had, the capacity to focus in such a way that living is about nourishment of the body and the heart and the soul. Oh wait, we do. We do have that capacity. We do through the art of devotion. But maybe it's finding that teacher or that pet, that experience that is the vehicle for you connecting to that source. So thinking about dogs and ducks in this way made me feel a little foolish. But I've already made the confession I'm a fool for love, right? But this reminded me of a Rumi poem that I once read. And talk about the lover and the beloved. Rumi always puts it so well. But Rumi wrote, "Don't be a scholar, be a fool for love instead. If you are the moon in the sky, fall down and become the dirt in the road. Be together with young and old, good and bad. If you start out as a pawn, you will become a king later on." And that first line, as I am a fool, right? It really spoke to me. The thought of stepping out of our analytical thinking minds and stepping into our hearts, into that experience of existence, consciousness, and bliss. Another trinity for you. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat being the eternal being or truth, the lover. Chit, infinite consciousness, the beloved. And Ananda, ever bliss, the devotion, that effect of the loving relationship. And we get that opportunity each day, if we so choose to take it, to experience being in the present moment as Sat, Chit, Ananda, our true nature. And this reality begins as we begin to awaken our hearts through that practice of devotion, of being devotion. As we take steps towards the realization of our soul, as we begin to see ourselves and see others as ourselves, as our gurus. As we move beyond the lover into the beloved, a larger expression of oneness, expanding our hearts and souls, that devotion into the collective consciousness. So I went to my vintage 1960s Samsonite train case of belief systems, because as I've declared before, I'm a little too fancy to schlep around a bucket of BS of my belief systems, but not so fancy that I'm like carrying a Louis Vuitton. Here's what I found. Right? A mere container. But not just a mere container. There's a mic over there. A vessel for love to exist and to pass through. An emptying of the self. It's a false bottom, by the way, so that the love can pass through. And how can we walk this path of devotion, the path of the heart, to step out of our thinking minds, to not be the scholar of devotion, but to be devotion? And I say that's by focusing on that which allows us to lose ourselves, that which causes us to burn from the core and see the world through the eyes of unconditional love. Because in the words of Neil Young, sung by Nicolette Larson, I knew I was going to work some lyrics in here somehow. It's going to take a lot of love to change the way things are. It's going to take a lot of love, or we won't get too far. This unconditional love through this practice of devotion is the nectar that nourishes us all and what moves us forward together. So in the words of my Guruji, practice well, practice deeply. It's not just for yourself, but for the benefit of all beings everywhere. And so it is. And we'll take this into a time of meditation. So I would invite you to just allow your eyes to flutter closed. Begin to bring some awareness to your breath. Just allowing it to move through you freely, without conditions or judgment or expectations. And perhaps you choose to place your hands on your heart. Maybe noticing your heart pulsing in perfect time with your breath. And maybe for you already know your teacher or your guru. Maybe it's yourself, maybe it's someone you love, maybe it's someone you're currently angry with, or your beloved pet. But whoever that is, just begin to see that person. And begin to see them seated in your heart space. And just focus on that being and surround that divine representation with all the love in your heart. And perhaps you can begin to focus in on their face, still surrounding and filling them with love. As you draw in closer, perhaps you can see their eyes. And perhaps you stare into those eyes with all the love that you are and will ever be. And begin to see your own compassion, your own divinity, and all of that love reflected back at you. And may we move into the silence to allow this grace to flow through us.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, the words that pour right out your mouth when they do get the chance to make it through, yeah. Amazing love, how could it be that you would love someone like me? You do, yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. You saved me, baby, now I'm found inside your arms, nowhere else I'd rather be. could be. Just a tumbleweed blowing in the wind, and you called me. Just a tumbleweed blowing in the wind, and you called me. Amazing love, this little dream. It starts with you and it ends so sweet. Amazing love, this little dream. It starts with you and it ends so sweet. I'm just a tumbleweed blowing in the wind, and you called me. I'm just a tumbleweed blowing in the wind, and you called me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Amazing love, how could it be you would love someone like me? And you do, yeah, yeah.
Reminiscing, a slight beat of the heart, a flash of a memory that warms and fills my soul, a memory that makes me long for your presence. All I can see is you. All I can feel is you. You are all that is and all that ever will be. A sacred moment of silence, and you are there, like a whisper on the wind, though sometimes roaring like a gale. As I nestle in the harbor of my heart, I feel you surround me, loving me, singing the song of the universe in my ear. And my heart grows ever more hopelessly devoted in this now moment. And so it is.
Be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy.
And amen. See you next week.